I'm going to try to do a little bit less of a lecture, and I think one of the observations is that it's fantastic to have questions, so please think about your questions. Don't be afraid of, asking. If you want to ask them in Portuguese, that's fine. As Professor Godleski said, it's important to have inquisitive minds. If you're interested in research, you're going to need to put out hypotheses, so please do not be afraid to ask questions. One thing that I wanted to focus on, and this is true both for students who would be applying to the program, but also for program alumni, perhaps I was a little bit slow to realize the unique opportunity that is presented by this program and by the students who have participated and will participate in it. But one of the things that is a new priority for us is to really try to strengthen and increase the presence of full PhD students at Harvard from Brazil. And this is I'm speaking from the Brazil office of Harvard, not from central admissions. I'm not an admissions officer, that's not our role. But one of the things that we've noted over the last couple of years, when our office was founded, which was in 2006, and it's just 2 metro stops away, it's right next to the Fiesp building, we noticed that there were very, very few Brazilians at Harvard and also in Harvard College, which is the undergraduate period 4-year program. And that was a tremendous shame because financial aid for students going to Harvard College is very generous, and the opportunity to have meaningful engagement over a 4-year period was something that was really important. And over the last 3 years, actually over the last 4 or 5 years, we have worked with alumni from Brazil who went to Harvard College. We've helped to create communities. We do a lot of efforts to bring together networks of people. And between 2006 and this past year, the number of Brazilians studying at Harvard College, the undergraduate level, has tripled. It's a small number to begin with. It's still a relatively modest number, but a 300% increase over a relatively short period of time is the direct result of engagement of people, of mentoring, of providing inputs and getting rid of misconceptions that used to be there about either being impossible or not understanding the process. And this is relevant to this group and to this program, I think, for the following reason. It was about a year ago that a Brazilian PhD student at Harvard came to my desk. He was in the office doing some work and research and basically said, the type of lack of understanding that exists for undergraduates at the college level here, I know exists for PhD students. I was applying to PhDs. I did not know how to do so. I did not know what was important. And it's the same types of barriers and hurdles that you have been describing in a conversation that I was having with him about college students. So that got us thinking it would be very important to similarly try to help Brazilians have a better chance of being successful in applying for PhD programs. So full PhD programs, similar to undergraduate, there are currently underutilized funds at Harvard for Brazilians, and the only thing needed, and it's a big thing, to unlock that potential is to have, obviously, successful applicants to full PhD programs. There are, I think, significant differences, just as there were in the college in terms of the process of applying, but there are also differences in terms of what are the skill sets that are needed and what type of preparation would make an applicant particularly competitive. You're all at a very competitive school and have done very well to get there. This wonderful program, thankfully, has grown in terms of its competitiveness and is a really unique opportunity. The one thing that has been highlighted by the associate dean who has gone to Brazil and has given information sessions is that this type of research experience is what is lacking in many of the people who apply to a PhD program to Harvard. And unlike the vestibular, where you apply and you all take a standard test and it's very clear and objective who is in which position, there are other components of applications which are important. At the PhD level, a clear and demonstrated interest in research is incredibly important. I think a misconception that I've learned about in Brazil is that there's a thought on behalf of students, because the systems are different between Harvard in the United States and Brazil, is that I have to have completed a master's degree. That's not true. You do not have to have completed a master's degree to apply to a PhD program at Harvard or in the US. You must have completed an undergraduate degree, which is what you're all doing, but you do not need to go on and do a master's degree. In fact, the most important thing is to have a significant research experience. That doesn't have to be a full year, it can be somewhat shorter, but this program is really unique, not only for giving that research experience, but also for giving a level of comfort to faculty members at Harvard, and thankfully Harvard is a well-respected institution, so at other institutions as well, that if somebody has shown and demonstrated over the course of a year that they have a deep interest in research, they are likely to be more successful in their efforts to demonstrate that interest, because they don't just say it, they can prove it. And they also will have had the opportunity, as Professor Godleski said, to have hands-on engagement in research and with faculty who are doing research and who have a long tradition of doing that. So letters of recommendation are very important, and points of reference to understand you all know what it is to be a student at the FEM-USP. If one of your colleagues says, this is an amazing student, you know that the point of reference for that student is other amazing students. So I just wanted to bring something new, and we haven't done this in past sessions, that there is a tremendous opportunity, I think, to more closely link this program and the future participants in this program, as well as the participants who have completed it last year, the year before that, in terms of those of you who have an ongoing research interest, I think have a very unique opportunity to use this and to apply. PhD programs are 6 years roughly, so the duration of the program sometimes is longer than is expected in Brazil, but the amount that needs to be done before starting that is significantly less at times than is expected in Brazil. So that's what I wanted to focus comments on. Our office is 2 metro stops away from you, right down the street. I think that the timing of John's visit and his faculty colleagues' visit to Brazil is very good. We know of over 40 people from Harvard, from all different schools, who will be in Brazil between June and August. So we'll look for opportunities to help mix students who are now back in Brazil from Harvard and those of you who will be coming up here. That would also be an opportunity to start to create the connections and to work on English and not so much just the language skills, but the level of comfort. Because I would imagine that a number of you have questions, and speaking in a group at times is not particularly settling or easy, and speaking in a foreign language via video conference is not always the easiest. But that's what you're going to need to do, I think, to globally engage and be successful. So that's what I want to say. Thank you.